Hi, everybody. Welcome to our webinar this evening, our webcast. My name's Brian Murray. I'm the Director of Travel here at AAA, and I'm glad you joined us for a trip south of the border. We're going to head down to Mexico and hear about some wonderful things in Cancun and the Mexican Riviera. I do want to let you know you're all in listen-only mode. If you do have questions during the program, please type them into the question panel, and we'll entertain the questions at the completion of the program. Additionally, I'd like to let you all know we are offering for our attendees this evening $100 per booking on any new 5-night or more Pleasant Holidays booking with Mexico. That expires the 13th of February. $50 off a booking 4 nights or less with the new booking as well. That's good for 2021 and 2022. So while a lot of the world has been paused, there's opportunities for those that do want to travel, and Mexico, Caribbean, and United States are certainly opportunities there. So we're going to learn a little bit more about Mexico this evening. We have Stephen Perry, sales specialist with Pleasant Holidays, who's going to take over and give us a tour. So Stephen, thanks so much for joining us this evening.
All right, thank you very much, Brian, and thank you everyone for being here. As Brian mentioned, my name is Stephen Perry, and I'm excited to talk about Mexico today. It's just like Brian and I were speaking before the webcast started. We both go there regularly, and I'll explain a little bit more why I go so much. But I really enjoy Mexico myself. I think it's a great vacation experience, and oftentimes exactly what I need. So today I will cover mostly Cancun and Riviera Maya areas. I will briefly talk about Los Cabos and Puerto Vallarta just in case there's any interest there, but most of the time we'll be on Cancun and Riviera Maya. So all in all, Pleasant Holidays, we're part of AAA. We work very closely with your AAA travel advisor. For Mexico portfolio, we actually work with suppliers in 15 destinations within Mexico. So all over Mexico, if there's anywhere we don't talk about today, there's going to be a lot we don't talk about today. Just reach out to your AAA travel advisor and they'll be able to assist you. All in all, we have about 250 hotels and resorts there. Now, what really makes Mexico so popular and stand out is having a large focus on all-inclusive resorts. And just like pretty much everything, especially in travel, you know, when something new comes out originally, it gets a reputation, and as it, you know, time goes by, more and more of that style pop up, everything changes. I speak to people regularly about all-inclusive resorts who think, oh, the food quality is not good. And I just shake my head because I'm a foodie. A lot of people don't know this. I don't even think Brian does, but oftentimes in my free time, I have a cooking show. So I'm definitely a foodie. And, you know, my closest friend's also an executive chef. So I can tell you that my own honeymoon, I went to an all-inclusive resort in Riviera Maya that focuses on food. So there's lots of them out there, and there's amazing cuisine, as well as just having so much included upfront kayaks, stand-up paddleboarding, sometimes some sailing option. Some all-inclusives include things like scuba diving. So you have a lot of bang for your buck, and it's really the way to go. Then you take into consideration Mexico being so close and easy to get to. Flights tend to be less expensive than going other destinations, oftentimes less expensive than parts of the Caribbean, definitely less expensive than Hawaii. Even for people like myself on the West, it's less expensive to go to Mexico than Hawaii. So you're getting a really amazing value and everything you want included. I have in here, there are car rental options. I really don't recommend car rentals for 95% of vacations to Mexico. It's not necessary. Every now and then one pops up where guests really want to do some major exploring on their own, fine, but it's pretty standard. I don't really recommend it. It's just not necessary, and it's less convenient for you, plus a higher expense. So It is an option, but transportation and taxi services, in my opinion, are usually the way to go. And don't forget to book those activities ahead of time. We have about 117 that we work with, and you can get through your AAA travel advisor to make sure it's all arranged ahead of time, exactly how you want it, so that you don't need to worry about anything once you're there. I used to be the kind of person who thought, I don't want to plan anything extra. I just want to go. I'll figure it out when I'm there. And sometimes I like just waking up and saying, I want to do this and go do that. That's fine. But I find that when I go, if I don't plan an activity, I'm like, man, I wish I just took care of this ahead of time. So it's very easy. Your AAA travel advisor can help make proper recommendations, get you all squared away ahead of time, including your transportation, and easy peasy. And I will talk a little bit about the VIP airport lounge in Cancun. I think it's really a great value add for yourselves. So why Mexico is so popular? It's quick, obviously fairly short flights to from anywhere in the US. It's easy. Mexico, does not require COVID testing before traveling, which makes it easier. Even definitely before COVID, though, it's always been easy to get to Mexico. They're happy to have us there. Tourism is essential to Mexico, so it's always been just a breeze to get to Mexico and enjoy your vacation. And as I mentioned, it's a great value. You just get a lot more for what you pay. And one way that I rate a hotel is, does it have the wow factor, as I call it? I think that it's disappointing if you spend your hard-earned money and you go to a hotel and you open up your room and you're like, right? It's not exciting. That wow factor, when you open that door, you're like, wow, this is big, it's beautiful, it's got that bathtub, that jacuzzi tub that's huge, and the shutters that you can open from the bathtub so you can see, the bed area outside, your balcony, whatever. That's the kind of wow factor that so many of these resorts in Mexico have, that just sets off as soon as you really get to the resort on the right foot. This is a map of Mexico. All the little red dots are areas that we work with. Again, we're just going to talk about a few today, starting, of course, and focusing on Cancun and Riviera Maya. Now, if you're not familiar with Cancun, especially, that top right image is a perfect image for you. It's all man-made. There was nothing here, or pretty much nothing here. I forgot what the population was, but it was like 10 or something in this area. And all of that island basically was developed, sand was brought in to make a perfect vacation experience for you. Now, some people may hear that and think, oh, that's not exciting. It's not authentic. But here's the thing. When you have something created to have the perfect vacation experience for you, it's going to have everything you're looking for. So there's nothing that's really going to be left out. It's in a great area near lots of history. You can easily take day trips and tours to see, Mayan temples, ruins, so much different history nearby, while still staying at an amazing resort that has perfect beaches, perfect water. You can walk from your resort to go get shopping, dining, nightlife options. It's really just developed to have everything for you. So aside from the beaches, water, shopping, dining, nightlife, amazing hotels, water sports, very popular in Cancun, all different kinds of water sports to choose from. Perfect weather. Honestly, it doesn't get any better than Cancun in terms of weather goes. Cancun itself is really great for couples, friends, shopping, nightlife, beach lovers. They have lots of hotels, obviously, in the Cancun hotel zone. There's plenty to focus on families. There's plenty to focus on couples. There's plenty to focus on singles. There's plenty to focus on activities. You can have hotels that are in the heart of nightlife, that have a lot of nightlife themselves. If you're the kind of vacationer who wants to party a lot, perfect destination for you. At the same time, if you're the kind of vacationer who wants a 5-star luxury resort where you can just totally relax and be at a world-class spa, Cancun has all of that. So that's really one of the benefits of creating the ideal vacation destination, which Cancun really did. Riviera Maya, similar. It was a lot of jungle. You have the, Mayan temples down there, lots of history, but it's been mostly developed specifically for tourism. Completely different style and feel though. Cancun, you have that beach vibe. Riviera Maya, even though there's great beaches there, you're in more of a jungle feel, and it feels very authentic, uh, Mayan, basically. So totally different than the feel you would have in Cancun. A lot of guests like to split their stay, do a little bit in Cancun and do a little bit in Riviera Maya, or reverse. In my opinion, Riviera Maya is perfect for couples, very romantic feel. And explorers, because you're so close to everything. You can go up and see all the sites in Cancun, and you can, go south to Tulum, do some historical exploring. You can even go over to Cozumel, and do some snorkeling or scuba diving. So I put a couple maps in here because I think these really help give you an idea of the area and where everything is. So you can see where it says Cancun, that's going to be downtown Cancun area. The hotel zone, which is the skinny area here, that's where most of the hotels are. That was made for tourism, like I said. So that's the majority of the hotels are going to be right there, and just awesome with perfect beaches, easy to get around to pretty much anything you're looking for. That hotel zone has some great shopping in it. So does downtown Cancun. It's a very different vibe though. Isla Mujeres has hotels as well, and one of my personal favorite sightseeing, which I'll show you in a moment. And then north of Cancun, downtown Cancun, all this area is also expanding and getting more and more hotels in them as well. Zooming out a little bit, you can still see where Cancun is there. And then south of Cancun, basically everywhere south of Cancun is usually in this map referred to as Riviera Maya. Really, Riviera Maya goes to about Playa del Carmen. Then you have Akumal and Tulum below that. Playa del Carmen is a town. It's a good size. I mean, it's small, but you could walk it, but it's still, I don't want to give the idea it's just a couple streets. It's a good sized town with lots of shopping, plenty of restaurants. It also has the ferry terminal to take guests out to Cozumel Island, which has more hotels, but is a popular tourist point to do snorkeling or scuba diving or even fishing from there. So a lot of activities are going to start in Playa del Carmen, and go from there. Pretty much the majority that would have a boat included. So as far as Cancun and Riviera Maya goes, we work with 142 different hotels and resorts. So many of those are all inclusive, probably the majority, I would say. There's no way I can cover all of them. I just want to give you a few highlights. Please keep in mind, though, that in terms of resorts and all-inclusive resorts included, anything you're looking for, just work with your AAA travel advisor. They are experts and can make proper recommendations based on what you want included, where you want to be, what you want to see, and of course your price range. So just work with them and they'll be able to make proper recommendations. In terms of what I like to recommend, I listed a few here in different price ranges. Excellence Playa Mujeres is definitely the most popular Excellence that we've seen. Very luxury focused, adults only. So this, obviously no children allowed. It is going to be more adult and romance focused, opposed to adult party atmosphere. So definitely great for anniversaries, honeymoons as well. Dreams Playa Mujeres is family all-inclusive. So there's lots of children activities here. This is a really good mix for a family all-inclusive hotel where, of course, everything's included, but it doesn't really just focus on the adults, and it doesn't really just focus on the kids. What I mean by that is so many all-inclusives are family friendly, but there's really not much for kids to do. You know, they may have a kids club, maybe an activity or two, and that's about it. It's really just kids are allowed. We like kids. Dreams has a great combination of lots for the adults to do, lots for the kids to do, which really is perfect because everyone is catered to there. Gran Velas Riviera Maya is my personal favorite, so that's one of the hotels I went to on my honeymoon. Um, and I did that because I had stayed in Gran Velas and Los Cabos before and love it. It is a 5-star resort. The price point can be high, but for what's included, it's much lower than it really should be. You have, again, everything included, all of your meals at award-winning restaurants, including Michelin star chef. That for that restaurant, you don't pay extra. It's still included. You could eat there every single day if you want. So there's not these restaurants that are included, and then for a surcharge, there's others. They're all included. There are some add-ons you could do at the spa. There's also add-ons at, for example, the Michelin chef restaurant there. I paid for the premium wine pairing, which was a minimal cost and awesome. So I highly recommend that. I think we counted it up and there was about 18 different courses that we had. So they're pretty small courses, but you're definitely full by the end of it, but outstanding. So for any foodies, that's a perfect restaurant. Aside from food, very romance focused as well. You never feel like it's busy at that resort. Hyatt Zalara Cancun is a great location for adults that want to have fun. It's a great price, it's all inclusive, but it's in the perfect location to get out of the hotel and walk to shopping, dining, nightlife. If there's adults that want to get out on town and go to some clubs or bars, even just some great foodie restaurants, it's really a great location in the heart of the hotel zone. As far as activities, I've talked a little bit about these already. Hotel Zone Cancun has some very high-end shopping, like you can see in that Luxury Avenue, mall there. I can, to be honest, it's great. It's definitely the place to be seen, but you're going to spend more if you're going to the big shopping areas for the most part in the Hotel Zone. If you want to, get some souvenirs, find some options that are a little bit less expensive, like a third, let's say. Um, Go into the downtown Cancun area. There's also amazing shopping at a much lower price point. Throughout the hotel zone and downtown Cancun, though, there's lots of restaurants, nightlife, bars. And then again, you are very close to sightseeing, including ancient ruins and Mayan temples, all different kinds of museums. I will touch base on one, but there's a lot to choose from, including different types of water parks, both man-made, waterside water parks, and then natural water parks. So lots to choose from. Now, I really like this Cancun Underwater Museum. Near the Isla Mujeres area. You can do snuba here, snorkel, and be able to see these. And it's just a really cool experience and something totally different than what you've probably done before. So lots of fun and very awesome, unique experience. All right, so that I touched on Cancun Riviera Maya. Briefly, I want to talk about Los Cabos just to highlight it in Puerto Vallarta, and then we'll wrap it up. Try to keep it pretty quick for you guys. Los Cabos, totally other coast. Obviously, you're going basically from one point to the other points width-wise. What's great about Los Cabos compared to Riviera Maya and Cancun is that it's totally different. There's no tropical jungle by any means. It's more desert. Definitely a beach location, but not all of the ocean is swimmable. So some of these beaches are more for lounging than swimming. There are a lot of swimmable beaches though, but if that's important to you, just let your AAA travel advisor know. Other words, these hotels have amazing pools. lots of different types of activities here. That's the main thing to highlight. So lots of ATV tours, deep sea fishing. This is the mecca for Mexico, deep sea fishing. If you want to be really adventurous, depending on the time of year, you can actually swim with whale sharks around here. So very different in terms of activities than what you would be doing in Cancun, Riviera Maya. There's also a lot of culture here, but this also was a destination made specifically for tourists. There's two towns, which I'll show you in the map, one on each side of the main hotel zone and opposites of each other, the good cousin and the bad cousin, as they say. And then you have Land's End, El Arco. It's considered one of the most romantic places to be photographed, and Lover's Beach. If I go back one slide, that kind of arch there is one of the parts I'm talking about, and the beach to the right when the tide goes out, it's a big, basically private beach you can only get to by boat. So great for to be photographed at, or just spend some time on. Ideal location for couples, romance, beach lovers, nightlife, families, and fishermen. And something a little less known, this is the area you want to be if you're a wine lover. Mexico actually has some amazing wine. You can experience a lot of that wine in Cancun and Riviera Maya, but it's a little closer to this region, so you have some really amazing wine cellars at some of these resorts. The two towns I'm talking about is San Jose del Cabo and Cabo San Lucas. You have Highway 1 all in between. That's the hotel zone. To get from one point to the other is minimal time, like 45 minutes or so. Maybe that's just how it feels. It's short. Great hotels all in between though. San Jose del Cabo is a little bit slower pace. That's going to be great architecture, some nice restaurants and shopping. Cabo San Lucas is where you go if you want to party, have that nightlife, a taco carts, some street vendors. That's also by the marina where a lot of the activities go. Some of these hotels, and I did list a couple that were not all inclusive, just to point those out as well, to switch it up. 53 hotels and resorts. Gran Fiesta, Americana, Los Cabos, one of my favorite, just because my mind was blown at having one of the best meals I've had anywhere at that resort. I was not expecting it. Great family resort that's all inclusive. Las Ventanas and One and Only, neither of these are all inclusive. They are both 5-star resorts, complete opposites from each other. Las Ventanas is a desert feel, that's the middle photo, and then One and Only Palmilla is like you're in a tropical jungle. So totally different. Las Ventanas has one of the largest wine cellars I've seen in my life. And then back to all-inclusive, adults only, all-inclusive Rio Palace, Baja California, which is located on the very popular Medano Beach, which is swimmable. Great value for that resort. Highlighting the two towns, this is San Jose del Cabo, so you can see that architecture, a little bit slower, very clean and nice. Great restaurants, great shopping. There are some tours here. There's a amazing sustainable farm. I forget how large it is, many acres. I went there and did a cooking class, which was outstanding. Surprisingly, they have their own micro brewery there, where you can get all different kinds of beers. If you're missing some of the beer that you're used to in the US, they have that style there as well. And then Cabo San Lucas, so you can see the marina where a lot of tours and activities will go out of. Other words, lots of nightlife here, lots of bars, some famous bars where you buy t-shirts that have cool slogans on them, like Senor Frogs and stuff like that. Great for people watching. Maybe you don't really care to go to clubs. I think that I aged out of the club scene myself, so going and just enjoying some street tacos and people watching is also perfect for this area. Lastly, Puerto Vallarta and Riviera Nayarit. My favorite thing about this is it's authentic. This was not a destination created for tourism. You can see in this photo, great beach, and if you look at the photo, it's a lot of locals. It's not just tourists. So if you're looking for authentic Mexico, where you can eat at the restaurants the locals eat at, shop where they shop, experience what they experience, this is a perfect destination for you. Cobblestone streets, so beautiful city with cobblestone streets, lots of great architecture as well. The beach is definitely swimmable. It's protected. I'll show you on the map in the next image. And there's lots of protected jungle surrounding the city that makes some great tours and activities. Ideal location for couples, romance, shopping, exploring, and beach goers. This is the map. You can see in the Bay of Banderas how it's protected. So great beach that is, calm and swimmable. You can see the main Puerto Vallarta area. Many of the resorts that are offered are in the surrounding coastlines, getting outside of Puerto Vallarta, but there are a lot right there within Puerto Vallarta. 43 hotels to choose from. Again, a couple of these are not all inclusive, but still just perfect to point out. Maraval luxury residences. I wanted this one in here. It is all inclusive, but you still have a fully equipped kitchen. This is great right now, especially with COVID-19. Maybe you want to have room service bring you some bottles of champagne or wine and keep them in your refrigerator with some snacks. Maybe you went shopping nearby and want to store some stuff in your refrigerator, relax on your balcony and enjoy it. You can do that. You can cook meals should you choose, or even just reheat. But you have 1 to 4 bedroom options. So families, this is perfect. Maybe you need some cereal in the morning for kids. Um, it gives you that option, or dietary restrictions, and you have the space. It's really a great resort for you, for families. St. Regis Punta Mita is a 5-star luxury. I put that on there mainly to shout out to any golfers out there. 2 of the top courses are there. So golfers paradise, luxury paradise there. Sheraton Bougainvillea's resort. Why I put this here is it's right in the middle of Puerto Vallarta, located on that amazing beach and just easy to get around. And then Garza Blanca, another one that has to be called out because there's multiple sections. One section is beachfront, but it's located on 85 acres of tropical jungle. You do have different buildings that are back further in the jungle to give a very different, unique experience. It is a protected area, so you have lots of wildlife there, and it's absolutely beautiful. Activities, I mentioned golf paradise for Mexico. Zip lining, through the canopy trees, perfect. ATVing. There's lots of free sightseeing. I already mentioned the town is beautiful. There's lots of sculptures along the waterways. And then the Marietas Islands, the bottom left image, that does exist. Basically, to get there, you take a boat tour out. They get you in, a life jacket, and you just swim basically through an arch. It's not really a cave like I've said in the past, but it's more of an arch. It's not dark or anything. Once you get through that arch, that's what you look at. You have basically a private beach area there, beautiful water, and you're out like in the middle of the ocean practically. So totally awesome, unique experience, must do for everyone's list. Lastly, there are protection plans out for you guys. I know traveling during COVID can be intimidating, and I want to take a moment to talk about what requirements are there. CDC guidelines, or restrictions rather, that came out a couple weeks ago. Any guests returning to the US will need to take a COVID test. And if you're negative, you can board as usual and go home. Honestly, I expect that to be the case pretty much all the time. Hotel restrictions limit occupancy by over 50%. They take, safety very seriously there. Sanitization is going on at all times. Basically, the hotels, it's important that they have a good image and take their guests' safety seriously, as well as their own employees. So it's about as safe as it can get. They are doing a phenomenal job. If for whatever reason a positive test were to come up, they are also helping out. Most of these hotels are giving complimentary rooms for up to 14 days if you do end up somehow getting sick while you're there. So they're stepping up, giving free tests at most of these all-inclusive resorts as well, just to make your trip a lot easier getting back. That said, cancel for any reason protection plans. Sorry about the dog in the background. Someone came to the door. I order a lot of Amazon. Cashback plan. Basically, it's a protection plan that is optional for you. You can work with your AAA travel advisor. If you add that and you need or want to cancel for any reason, including COVID-19, that means if things change, that means, with the pandemic, that means if something in your life changes, God forbid, I know it's tough out there, job industry, things like that, you can cancel. Or if you just don't feel like traveling for whatever reason, you can cancel and get a full refund minus a protection plan. Future travel credit is a very low price, which encourages you to travel. But if you need to cancel for any reason, everything's refunded to you. That's refundable. If there's anything non-refundable, this is usually, if you're familiar with the term published airfare, it's what the majority of the airline tickets you would purchase are non-refundable with the airline. So it's the same. If you cancel those and the airline considers it non-refundable, this gives you a future travel credit, which you don't need to use on that airline. You can use it for anything you want. If you decide to cancel a Mexico trip, and you want to use that air credit to book a Las Vegas hotel, you can do that. So it's just a little bit more flexible for you there, at a very low cost. So just work with your AAA travel advisor for those. Again, that was pretty quick. I wanted to try to keep this one at a reasonable time so I keep your attention. Any destination we did not talk about, just work with your AAA travel advisor. They will help you out as well as make proper recommendations. There's hundreds of all-inclusive hotels out there in Mexico. Brian, any questions?
So thank you, Stephen. Yeah, great presentation. And as you mentioned, I've been there many times. I love it. From a romantic all-inclusive to active, there's everything there. Beaches are beautiful. So I'm ready to go. Yeah, a couple questions. One is about in Cancun, in the Mayan Riviera, day trips and traveling to see the Mayan ruins and so forth. The ease of that, the distance, and what that entails.
I'm sorry, Brian. Some reason you came across broken up on there. Can you repeat?
Yep. Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. Sorry about that. A question came in about the ease of booking day trips and how far the Mayan ruins are and so forth in Cancun.
Okay, good question. So as far as ease of booking trips, the easiest way is when you're making a quote or booking with your AAA travel advisor, let them know what you're interested in or ask if they have recommendations, because they're all passionate about travel as well. And they can make proper recommendations for you, get you quotes on those. As far as ease of booking, if you say, hey, that sounds good, they just add it to your trip and you're done. You don't have to do anything else. Instructions will come with your paperwork, basically your documents, which are before your travel, which lists everything day by day in order. This is your departing flight if you book flights. This is your departing time, your arrival time. This is your transfer. There's instructions where to meet your transfer. It's all laid out for you. And the same thing with your tour and activity. If you do a tour and activity for, a ruin tour, for example, usually those or many of those come with transfers included. And it would actually say at your hotel at this time, you go down to the main entrance and your transfer will pick you up there. It's super easy. As far as the travel time and distance, it really matters where you're staying. If you're in many parts of Riviera Maya, you can get to some of the main sites within 30, 45 minutes. Cancun area, I'd say an hour and a half to 2 hours, depending on where exactly you're going. It's reasonable. It's definitely something that you can realistically do in a day.
Terrific. Thank you. Question, are the resorts requiring people to wear masks?
Good question. Yes. When you're in the main public areas, you do need a mask. What I mean by this is walking around the hotel grounds, inside the hotel, you need a mask. When you go to the beach, for example, what they've done is, normally one thing that's great about the resorts in Mexico too is they have nice lounges, plenty of them to choose from on the beach. So you don't just have to necessarily pick a spot on the sand, though you could if you want. They've put those further apart so there's plenty of space. You pick the spot you want. You definitely don't need a mask while you're on the beach in your area. You don't need a mask walking to the ocean if you want to get in the ocean. It's really just like you would do at home. If you're going to just be walking around and passing a lot of people, put a mask on. If you're settled, you can definitely take your mask off.
And I believe I know the answer to this, but I'll ask it for you. Pools open at all the resorts, correct?
Yes, pools are open at all of the resorts. Mexico's widely considered a pool destination, even though it has great ocean. It's also known for having some of the most amazing pools, so they are definitely keeping those open.
And based on your answer about the masks, you don't need to wear your mask in the pool.
Definitely do not need to wear your mask in the pool.
Perfect. Okay. And the only other question that came in was about ease of transportation from Western New York. So I'll take that. Actually, there are many options to fly from Buffalo, Rochester, and Syracuse. Southwest, Delta, American Airlines, very easy connections. You can leave early in the morning and you're in Cancun well before noon, transfer to your resort and on the sunny beach shortly after lunchtime. So it is easy, and processing through the airport has certainly become more expeditious as well. So if you think of any questions after this, be sure to reach out to one of our travel consultants. Most of them have been to and know many of the resorts. So at this point, I'd like to thank everybody for participating and remind you that when you're ready, we're ready to help you plan that vacation. In fact, today is National Plan for Vacation Day to make sure you get that vacation on the calendar and booked and don't lose that PTO time. So it definitely is an opportunity to plan that. So again, thank you, Stephen, and thank you all for being here this evening. Have a great evening.